A pleasant good afternoon to all our GlobeSpan 24/7 viewers. Thank you for Thank you for staying tuned with us for our final segment for this afternoon. As you know, GlobeSpan has gotten hotter in terms of some of the topics that we're having on Saturday. We had Stephen Singh this morning at 10 a.m. I hope you enjoyed that segment and give us some feedback on that program. And we just had Charles Segrim at 12 noon with Leonard Schulman, who is the presidential candidate for one of the political parties. And again, thank you. Thank you for, my apologies. Sorry, folks, my phone. So thank you again for staying tuned with us and joining our Let the Women Speak program right here on GlobeSpan 24/7. Just bear with me for a second. I need to turn my phone off because it's a little distracting. Yes. So as you know, you see on the backdrop, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So wouldn't it be good if domestic violence awareness could be every month? I would so look forward to that. And I think we need to campaign for that more. But as domestic violence starts at the beginning of October, it's going to move into November, so November 25th. Mark your calendars, November 25th is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Over the years, I've done a lot of work in Ghana during that time, and a couple of us were actually planning on being in Ghana during that time, but it hasn't been finalized yet due to the political situation. I don't want to take women that support me and support Let the Women Speak into Guyana if there's issues going on for their safety. And nevertheless, so, and then it moves into 16 days of activism as of November 25th, which runs until December 10th. So we will continue to bring you programs during the month of November and during the month of October and November as we raise the level of awareness in domestic violence. So again, my name is Dianne Madray from Let the Women Speak. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. And I'm hoping some of our men are tuning in as well. So we have, as I said earlier, we have these programs coming to you on Saturday. So we have, as you can see today, we have something for everyone. If there's an idea that you might have, please hit us up and let us know, right? So as we started the fall with Let the Women Speak, as you know that I do 2 segments on the GlobeSpan network. One of the segments is going to be on mental health, self-care for women, which is this one here today. And then when you see me back here in studio, it's going to be on social justice and politics. Yes, I said politics, because our women need to be at the seat of the table. So we don't need to ask for it. We need to just show up in these places and let our voices be heard, right? I have someone that's going to be coming in via phone. You're going to get to hear from her. Her name is Robin Shea, and you'll get to see exactly why I'm bringing Robin in. Robin had supported me on a trip to Guyana a couple of years back when I was doing a project, and she went down to talk about her book, Until You Die, The Narcissist Promise. So you'll hear more about that shortly. Also, as I told you about Let the Women Speak being in spaces that our voices need to be heard, you might have seen the oil and gas segment last Saturday. Let the Women Speak was a big part of that, and tonight, they're going to be at 6 p.m. at the Regency in Guyana. So those of our Guyanese viewers that are tuning in, please, I'm encouraging our women to show up because you need to be educated. We need more women raising the level of awareness in the oil and gas and how it's impacting our environment or anything else, all right? So just a reminder, that's on at 6. And Stace Narayan Singh, along with Dhanraj Singh, will be leading that segment. So as we continue with our program today, our sponsors here for this particular segment is L'Amour Events, and they have an awesome Diwali cruise that's scheduled for December 19th. So I'm going to ask our tech to run that ad for the Diwali cruise for October 19th.
L'Amour is helping to sponsor GlobeSpan 24/7 programs. L'Amour will be celebrating Diwali on board the Princess Luxury Yacht with a cruise on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Take a cruise down the Hudson with non-stop Diwali celebrations plus DJ and fashion show. Tickets start from $75. That's a Diwali cruise on board the Princess Yacht on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Call Anjali at 845-545-9936 or Shika at 646-732-0065.
Thank you, GlobeSpan viewers, for tuning in and staying tuned with our segment today. The Narcissistic Partner Living Behind the Mask. And this segment was brought to you by L'Amour Events. And they have a beautiful Diwali cruise happening. And one of the great things is the person behind this cruise is a phenomenal woman. And she started L'Amour Events. You're going to get to hear more from Anjali Arora at the end of this program. And you'll hear about the Diwali cruise. And those of you in New York who are willing to join us, you're going to hear what that event entails. So stay tuned for that as we go along with the program. Also, I want to just bring to your attention real quick, on October 11th, my brother friend Ravi Bipat has started a networking that I'm also part of. Let the Women Speak is a part of that. And Bindu, before I introduce you, I'm just reminding you, 11th, we're having the networking event in October, which is our third, at one of my favorite hangout places in Queens, New York, Ross Code Lounge, which is located at 117-15 101 Avenue. So please join us on October 11th for that entrepreneur and professional mixer, okay? So anyone that's interested, tune in and be with us at the Ross Code Lounge on 101 Avenue. So as we proceed to the Narcissistic Partner Living Behind the Mask, I want to introduce to you our guest in studio. And I had a chance to meet Dr. Bindu Babu a few weeks ago at a mayor's event, and we sort of hit it off. I said, things don't happen, by accident. It's all divinely set. Just like how I met our in-house therapist, Bibi Roberts, and we had a chance to actually meet in person when she showed up here in New York a few weeks back. So, Bibi, thank you for being a part of this and being such a big support as well. So, and in November, you will be here physically. So let's see how we can get you back in studio. And as the women and I spoke earlier about looking at doing a part 2 of this segment, because the narcissistic partner and just the topic of narcissism is just so expansive. I don't think this time today is going to give us enough to talk about this. So we're going to expand this a little bit more. So, so here's the thing I wanted to ask you viewers tuning in. Are you dating an entitled jerk? Or did you wake up one morning and ask yourself, how did I end up with this narcissist? Let me just repeat that. So you wake up one morning and you looked over to the right or the left, and then you said, ask yourself, in your head, how did I end up with this narcissist? And the reason why I'm saying that to you all is that we tend to misuse this word. And as the women and I have discussed before preparing this segment, that we misuse this word sometimes and sort of self-diagnose our friends, family, and so forth. So we're going to talk to you a bit about that. So as we proceed, I'm going to ask our viewers tuning in. So if you thought that question, take a deep breath and don't self-diagnose your partner just yet, right? Don't diagnose them just yet. Give us a chance and hear what the ladies have to say, and Dr. Bindu Babu, who has worked extensively on narcissism and the narcissistic partner. So I'm going to have her talk a bit about that. But as we continue, keep in mind, Let the Women Speak. These segments that we begin at the beginning of the month is our self-care, part of our self-care series. You've had a chance to join Bibi and myself with Shanita Liu on our last segment on Self-Care 101. And I'm hoping that we had some technical difficulties, so that's why it's important for us to kind of like be in studio. And I'm here with you. I'm here in New York, so I'm happy to be here. So allow me to introduce to you Dr. Bindu Babu and my beautiful co-host, therapist, Bibi Roberts. So I'm going to ask, so all of you know Bibi Roberts, who has tuned in with me. So I'm going to ask Bindu, to share a little bit about yourself, so our viewers could know who Dr. Bindu Babu is.
So a little bit about myself is that I am, first of all, I'm a physician. And then I did my doctorate in natural medicine and my PhD in integrative medicine at Quantum University. During this journey, I did a lot of learning about energy healing. So I'm a Reiki master, a past life regression therapist, learned from Dr. Brian Weiss, MD himself. And I've done several roles in narcissism, and that is because I did my PhD thesis on narcissistic relationships and plus my own personal experience. So this was a powerhouse for me for women. Right now, I am the Global Goodwill Ambassador for Women in humanitarian work. I am the Circle of Wise Women for Female Wave of Change, an international organization for women empowerment and healing. And I am also Director of Leadership for NAVA. So I try to do as much community work, but since I do a lot of international speaking in world congresses and conferences and all sorts, I wanted to bring more now to my community for us women and empower and help and heal this taboo or this quietness about narcissism, especially when it's relationships, because the first thing is understanding that you are with a narcissist, understanding the difference between toxicity and entitlement, and knowing that it is a disorder. It is a problem that a lot of people have and face, but don't realize it's not just domestic violence or it's not just mental abuse. There is a more stronger underlying issue here that not only you, but many people have, but it's just so quiet because it's your personal life. And you're also convinced that you're the problem, because in narcissism, the number one thing is women actually believe that they are the cause of this problem. So,
Right.
I'm very honored to be here.
And thank you, Dr. Bindu, for joining us and allowing us to expand this knowledge in terms of understanding, because we have women tuning in from all across Guyana, as well as across the diaspora, right? So it's important, instead of looking at misusing this word, you're going to get some education today in terms of how can we use this word a little bit better and understand. And I think it's about sensitizing as well. So it's important. And so as you see, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we're looking at that because this is important in relationships. And we're going to expand this topic to another segment. So if we run out of time, you'll tune in and we'll let you know when that will happen, all right? So we're going to discuss how to spot the signs of narcissism. So I'm going to throw this question out to you, Dr. Bindu. Can we define some of the main characteristics of a narcissist? Maybe just a few of them that, maybe our viewers could relate to?
Number one is self-entitlement. They are strongly self-entitled, very into what people think about them and being the charmer and the center of attention. Everything surrounds about them. But there is an underlying deep insecurity. So when they go out there and shine and get the attention, that's how they feed their ego. And that's really the center of their existence, which they bring not only into outside world, especially into their relationship. Their ego needs to be constantly fed. And the worst thing is they have no empathy, no understanding of someone else's feelings. It's all about them, their vision, their talks, their feelings, and how anybody around them serves to feed them and their security, which is their ego.
Right. Okay, Bibi, do you want to add anything to that? So we're talking about, some of the characteristics of the narcissist.
I think that's a really good definition, Dr. Bindu. It's a really good definition. And I also, want to add there is different types of narcissists. And so that's important. You may have the moderate ones. So, but that's a really great description. Yeah.
Okay. And ladies, can I ask you both a question? We talked about the characteristics, but some of our viewers, instead of making it technical, what might be some simple words that we can describe a narcissist? Can you give one word?
Selfish.
Okay. Bibi, one word.
I would say someone where somebody that's not able to tune into your emotions, someone that lacks empathy.
Yes.
Okay.
The lacking of empathy is very important. Yes.
Okay. Can we call conceited another simple way of describing a narcissist?
Yeah, I mean, you can say conceited. Of course, you can say conceited with arrogance, but that conceit only occurs when they pull someone down, or if there's someone who worships them. Otherwise, there's people out there who can be just conceited because they did well in football, or they're good at art, or like a mix of confidence. I agree, but this is very about their feelings based on pulling someone else down to feel better about themselves.
What about self-absorbed?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bibi, self-absorbed. Yeah?
Self-absorbed, definitely. It's all about them. It's me. What can you do for me? Yes. How can you help me? Yes. Yeah.
All right.
It's
so
all about me.
And I just wanted to add, all about me without the consequences, no care for the consequences of their action to get what they want. Doesn't matter what happens to anyone else or how it affects politics or people or relationship. As long as it feeds and serves them, they don't care the consequences of those actions, right, Bibi? I would say it's very strong.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
all right. So as we continue, go ahead.
Dr. Bindu, I have a quick question. What would you say, because I know a lot of our viewers are saying, well, my partner is difficult, my co-worker, my supervisor. What would you say to someone who's working or in a relationship with a difficult person and that they want to know, well, is that person a narcissist?
Bibi, can you hold that question, because that was one of the questions I had on my list. Can you hold that? We're going to go to go to a quick break. Don't forget it. Just hold that thought. So again, our show has been sponsored by L'Amour Events and Women in Business, Anjali Arora. So we have a Diwali segment coming up on October 9th. So we're going to hit that during the break here.
L'Amour is helping to sponsor GlobeSpan 24/7 programs. L'Amour will be celebrating Diwali on board the Princess Luxury Yacht with a cruise on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Take a cruise down the Hudson with non-stop Diwali celebrations plus DJ and fashion show. Tickets start from $75. That's a Diwali cruise on board the Princess Yacht on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Call Anjali at 845-545-9936 or Shika at 646-732-0065.
We have such beautiful women in our studio today, So I want to say again, you saw the Diwali event coming up Saturday, October 19th. And the beautiful Anjali Arora, who is in studio with us, you're going to hear from her at the end of the program. Women-owned business, and I love that. So I support our women in business, L'Amour Events. So if you're interested in planning your event, you can hit up Anjali Arora with L'Amour Events. So I hope you will join us on that fabulous cruise planned on Saturday, October 19th. So as we go on with the program today, the narcissistic partner living behind the mask. Dr. Bindu, we talked when we were planning this segment, we talked about gaslighting. Can you explain to our viewers what is gaslighting and how does that look? What would that look like?
So when you say gaslighting, it really means, so if you put a relationship, let's say, right, between a partner or a spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, it's almost like the narcissistic partner convinces you of a situation or a story that may never even have happened, but they would actually convince you and manipulate it in such a way where you actually believe that it did, or you possibly did something. And it's so confusing and you're already dragged in this toxic cycle that you're in between honeymoon phase and then victimization and then going back into the whole circle of love bombing and then coming back and getting hurt and then pulling away and then being convinced to go back into the relationship. As you keep going, you're so grogged that this person will actually make you believe in situations that never even occurred. And I mean, off the bat, like, let's say you said you were supposed to meet your narcissistic partner at a certain time at a certain place, and you said it very clearly, and then the partner would turn around, remember when you said that, but you didn't show up, and then you're like, no, I did show up. And they will convince you, no, you did, because I remember this thing happened at this time, and convincing you in such a way where you actually think you did show up. You get completely confused. You lose your own sanity. That's how bad it becomes.
Okay, thank you. So, Bibi, you had asked a question. Can we come back to what you just asked? You can go ahead.
Yes, I think for our viewers, you may find somebody in a difficult relationship. They have a difficult relationship, and they're wondering, well, how do I really tell if this person, this another human being that I'm interacting with, whether they have a narcissistic disorder? What would you say to the audience about that?
Well, they undermine your existence. They cross all boundaries, and they completely devalue you. I mean, it's not just a conflict of interest or, a spat between a partner where, I don't like chocolate, you don't like vanilla. People can be upset about so many differences or different point of view, even if it's politics. Like someone could be a Republican, you can have different conflicts of interest, but we're talking about someone completely devaluing your existence, demeaning you, crossing all boundaries, separating you from your friends, family, and even undermining your intelligence. Let's say if it's a work-based, in such a way where you may be a high qualified, degreed person who has quite big intelligence or formatted something, and your boss can completely make you feel like you don't know anything and your existence here is on a thread because of me. I allow you to be here. So you're so convinced, and you totally lose your inner being of who you are in anything, whether it's boss or relationship.
And that goes back to the gaslighting, that brainwashing.
Yep.
Yes. So they're so connected. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, the walking on eggshells, which is a huge factor. When things are good between you and your relationship with your partner because of that huge honeymoon phase. So initially, there's a huge honeymoon phase where you're with your partner and everything is absolutely perfect. Like the whole Disney, the Prince Charming, the flowers, the candy, everything that you ever want to hear. You would feel like you met your soulmate and your partner is very charming. Then you go into this whole victimized phase where they kind of pull you down and devalue. So to prevent that person from getting into arguments because you want that honeymoon phase so bad is when you start going into this eggshell where you're scared that anything you do is going to upset them or get them angry, and then it can go into mental or physical abuse. So to prevent that, you're constantly like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Oh, I can't talk to this person. I can't wear a certain outfit. It becomes very toxic.
Bibi, any additional thoughts on that?
No, that she did a wonderful job in describing
It's terrible.
behaviors. Yes.
Thank you.
very
Thank you
sad.
both. Thank you both. So one of the things that, as we were planning this, and I'm thinking also because dealing with a lot of women with domestic violence, we don't discuss necessarily the word narcissism or the narcissistic partner, but in ways that they could understand. But one of the things that I usually encourage women to do when you're in that kind of relationship is to document. So both of you as clinicians, what do you say about if a woman or a man, because we know women can be narcissists as well, what would you say about documentation and like for example recording in these kinds of relationships? Would you, as clinicians, would you say that?
See, I understand what you mean, like
They
documentation.
could go together. Yes, they could go together, Dianne, or separate. You can have a spouse who exhibit more than moderate syndrome or symptoms that really fits into the category, but you can have someone that's experiencing domestic violence on all levels, and it's not necessarily that the partner has, we can put that personality related issue there. So they are connected and sometimes they're not connected.
Okay.
That has been my experience in the field. Yeah.
And you have to understand something. In people who are in these relationships, there's no logic. You know, documentation is important, and you know, you can say so many things. Like, you can tell a person who went into domestic, well, if he hit you, walk out, right? It's a very simple thing for people who are not in that relationship to say. Oh, well, if he didn't do something, well, it's pretty obvious. If he's hurting your feelings, why would you be with someone like that? But you have to understand something. They're so mentally drawn in this toxicity that they themselves don't understand they're in a toxic situation because they're so convinced that it's their fault. You know, the narcissist pretty much says, well, I hit you because you made me do it, because you didn't make my food right, or you didn't wear the right dress, or you were taking attention from another male and it upset me because you are the reason why, because of the way you dressed, the way. So you start convincing yourself that maybe my partner is right. It is because I didn't make the tea correct and he got angry and he slapped me, or he got angry and abused me, or he yelled at me, or he screams at me because I'm not cleaning something correctly. I'm disrupting the family life, or I'm disrupting this relationship. So when you're in that mode of trying to correct, which is where the eggshell walking comes, you're not going to think about documentation because you're still in the mode of trying to save the marriage, or try to save the relationship, or the potential of that partner. Oh, that partner is such a wonderful person. If he just didn't get angry here, maybe if I fix this, I would be back in honeymoon phase. He'd still be my Prince Charming. I'm still the queen or the princess. So you're mentally still trying to fix this relationship. You know, so documentation is really like that concept is, well, what are you trying to say? That there's something wrong? I can still save this. You know, it really comes
and that's where women mostly that I have worked with, the fixing, and so that's also where they're at.
Yeah.
Their scheme is they want to fix. They believe that it's that what's happening, that they have some kind of control, some way of fixing.
Yeah, and also, yeah, go ahead. No, and I was saying, and as women,
I'm so glad, Dianne, I'm so glad that you brought up this. There are also female narcissists as well as male, but there are more. We have in research that's that there's more male.
Yeah.
But there's also clients that come in, and the mothers are narcissistic, that impacts the whole family. So it varies on a continuum.
Right. And especially, I mean, in focus of just in relationship wise, right? What happens is, even as women, forget narcissism, right? As women, we always try to keep our marriage together, right? We always try to keep quiet. We don't want the public to know anything. We don't want society to know anything. We don't want our parents to know anything. We don't want our siblings to know anything. So we hold on to that burden of trying to keep a marriage or a family life or a relationship or our children together, because it's convinced that either it's a nuclear family or the highway, right? So women tend to keep it. It's very private, and then it's also, what is the Smiths doing, right? What is your neighbor doing? I don't want people to know me, so I'm going to keep this marriage and relationship together because this is our culture. This is what society expects. But it's a much more underlying situation when you're with a narcissist. So that women already have like a double whammy of keeping everything together, and then what happens? You pretty much lose yourself.
All right. So again, you're tuning in to the Narcissistic Partner Living Behind the Mask. And with us in studio is Dr. Bindu Babu, and we have Bibi Roberts that's coming in via Skype. So I want to thank these ladies for joining us here for this important discussion. So for our viewers, if you're looking for resources, one of the things that I found, there was a movie called Gaslight. Do any of you ladies?
Yes.
That movie?
Yeah.
I've heard of, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, you've seen it. Okay, I need to look at it because I in researching, I found that movie was pretty much highlighting where a husband tries to convince his wife that she's insane by causing her to question herself and her reality.
Yes.
So for anyone who think that you might be going through a situation that we're describing here, take a look at that movie if you can find it, right? And see, again, we're not telling you to diagnose your partner. We're going to talk about therapy and treatment and stuff like that as we go along with this program. So as we continue, I have someone, she wasn't able to come into studio, so we're going to bring her in via the telephone. And this is Robin Shea, I told you all about earlier. Robin is an American woman who experienced domestic violence in her relationship, and she wrote a book, Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise. So I met Robin at an outreach in Washington, D.C. a few years back, and I invited her to join me in going down to Guyana. For those of you who are tuning in, know that I have run extensive workshops in terms of domestic violence and a variety of programs. So Robin accompanied us on the trip to Guyana, and you can see to the corner Robin's book, Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise. You can get a copy of our book, Barnes & Noble and other Amazon and other source outlets. And support our women, because that's important. When we have women doing amazing things, like Robin, support the cause in getting a copy of our book to understand from a victim's perspective. I think we have Robin on the line. Robin, are you there? Robin? I think we're trying to connect her, so just bear with us a bit. Okay, Robin, if you're watching this, we're not able to hear you. Can you speak up? Okay, my apologies, viewers, that
Yes.
Robin, are you there? I heard her for a second.
Hello?
Hi, Robin. Can you hear us? It's fading in and out, right? Okay. All right, so my apologies to our viewers for that technical difficulty. But here's what we're going to do. Since we're having trouble connecting Robin on this call right now, Devin, you can try that, and maybe we can bring her back in at a later. Just give me a heads up. Robin will come in to studio in an upcoming segment. So I'm going to ask Robin to join us in an upcoming segment where we're going to have a part 2 of this. So unfortunately, we're not able to get her to connect, but our studio staff will try to see if we can connect her back. We were talking and touching on relationships, and this is for both Bibi and Dr. Bindu. How can we, for our viewers, how does this show up in relationships? Because I was hoping Robin was going to expand on that a little bit. Is there anything else that you can add about the narcissism or the narcissist person? How does that show up in a relationship? That, if people are in a relationship, men or women, and you're experiencing some of the things that you both described earlier, particularly you, Dr. Bindu, what are some of the things that, like the red flags? What should someone look at?
Well, I mean, first of all, when you start you don't even know what hit you.
Right.
Literally. Like, it's like a bus just hit you and you don't know what happened, because you meet a person and you mentally connect. And then that person treats you like a dream, gives you everything you ever wanted, understands every button you like, romances you. It's almost like, you just connect and you almost understand each other so mentally that you would actually call this person like your soulmate. And it's so rushed too. Like, one thing about a narcissistic relationship, it doesn't just happen like a normal relationship where you get to know each other and you date for a few months and then you slowly, expand and meet your friends. Everything is boom, like in one shot. Like, next year, like the first time you meet, it's great. Then you call each other every day, and by the end of the week, you're pretty much in each other's houses, and you feel like this is the best thing that's ever happened. And next you know, you have a ring within 3 months. Like, it's so fast-tracked. So fast-tracked, but believe me, you believe it. And then you think, oh, no one will understand this. Only I will know what I'm in, and he loves me, and it's just beautiful, and we connect, and it's the best thing. I've been waiting for this all my life, and you won't believe it. It's such a beautiful, actually, a beautiful feeling of relationship, and it happens so quick. And the next thing you know, it's like you don't know what hits you. Because a narcissist starts devaluing you. Like, it's all of a sudden, let's say your phone rings and you're with that person. Who are you talking to? Who is that? Is that your ex? Do you have a relationship with that male partner who's your friend? And then you start cutting people off. And then slowly you start thinking, oh, you're right, guys and girls can't be friends, or whatever it is that these people put against you. So it's like you start pulling yourself away from people, your friends. You get segregated. And then you're convinced that as long as I have him, we're going to have the best life forever and together, and we're going to have kids and family and this perfect unity. And it's not like that. You know, it's the constant back and forth, you know, of the control and strength of holding on to you and making you pretty much into a puppet. And that feeds their ego. So it goes into that circle. And then let's say things get really abusive, mentally or physically, is either I'm so sorry because they're afraid they're going to lose you, because, I mean, they need someone to feed their ego, and they want to go back into the honeymoon, and then you go back into the eggshell, and then you go back into the toxicity. So, or the other way is, as Bibi said earlier, there's so many different levels of narcissism. They may discard you and meet someone else, maybe someone very similar to you, someone from your background, somebody else, and then you have this term called triangulation. And that's when they bait two people. That means, let's say, you and the other woman against each other for the narcissistic partner. So it goes into all different levels of abuse, mental, toxicity of convincing you that you're barely nothing and pitting against each other. I mean, these are just real. And you know what's funny is it's so common. And ladies don't know that this is happening to the next person to them, because they think this is only happening to them, you know.
Thank you so much, Bindu. And if you saw me smiling, I know some of you, I can't see you, but I know you're thinking it, right? So, and your partner might be behaving like that. And as I said earlier, don't self-diagnose. And also they were talking about when Dr. Bindu was talking about the ring. So you get a 5-carat diamond ring or whatever it might be, you know, you get so caught up with that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he must
so
love me.
think of the relationship as a value. Don't allow another person to devalue you or make you think that you're not better, or, you know, try to gaslight or some of the things that we talked about earlier. So as we continue, I believe at this point we have Robin Shea, Until You Die, The Narcissist's Promise, the author of that book. So, Robin, are you there?
I am.
Hi there, Robin. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as I was telling our viewers, you traveled down to Guyana, and there's our book, Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise. So you had the first time, because that was the first time you traveled internationally, right? So Guyana was your first stop.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and can you quickly, so in the interest of time, can you quickly tell our viewers tuning in from Guyana what that experience was like in Guyana?
Wow.
I know it's a few years back.
It was definitely a culture shock. The whole atmosphere, the people, which I totally fell in love with. But the one thing that I really was a little bit surprised at was some of the women who were victims still felt that they should be supporting their man, even though this man is abusing them. One person who I met that I speak about her often is a woman who had left him, but she's still paying his gas bills, even though he threw acid all over her body.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of hard to understand, because here in the States, I think women do try to stand up for themselves, but the Guyanese women seem to be very complacent in regard to the abuse and the fact that they still owe these abusers something.
Robin, we're going to ask you, as I said to you when I spoke with you earlier today as well, we're going to look and seeing how you could come into studio when we do the next segment on this. So we're not going to tell too much about your book, but can you just highlight, you know, because I remember when I connected with you and I saw the title of your book, it kind of blew me away. Why that title, Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise?
It was actually something that he had said to me, because even after I left him, I was still being abused by him with any and every means possible, including the legal system in regard to my children. And I got him on the phone and I said to him, "How long are you going to continue this harassment?" And he said, "For the rest of your life until you die."
Wow.
And that's in the book. It was shocking to hear.
Okay. And we had talked about the gaslighting earlier in our segment. Oh, yes. Chloette, you remember Chloette Harris from Guyanese Girl Rock?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
she
I
just she just sent us a message. She's, yes, I've met Robin, wonderful woman. Because Chloette was actually on that journey, on that trip, when a couple of us, along with Sakre Bodram from Cadva.
Back at her.
Yeah.
She's great.
Wonderful. So we're actually going to do a network on November 10th. Bibi's going to be in New York, and we're going to be connecting with a few others. So Robin, if you're available, as I said to you, please join us. I'll give you more update, because we're looking for a venue right now. Not a large group. This is not a big event. This is just by invitation. So if you're interested, hit me up on my email or my WhatsApp at 917-399-5764 or my Facebook page. So again, Robin, thank you so much. I'm not going to go into too much on some of the stuff, because I would like you to share that when you come in studio, right? So again, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining us and joining our GlobeSpan network. So Robin's book again is Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise. So please see if you can get a copy if you're interested on this topic. So ladies, as we continue, I'm going to ask a question to both of you. And Robin, even if you're tuning in, you can let us know. Can we say, can narcissism be cured? I'm asking both of you. So, Dr. Bindu.
No.
Bibi, can narcissism be cured?
I wouldn't use the word cure,
Okay.
but I would say narcissism occurs on a continuum. Let's say you're working with a moderate narcissism, somebody who wants to make changes. There are possibilities, but I wouldn't use the word cure. I would say the brain has amazing capacity to make changes in different directions with the proper guidance and help. So, but I wouldn't say cure.
All right, thank
But
you.
there are changes, definitely, yes, that can be made. Yeah.
I just want to expand on that a little bit. And, I believe, with NPD, it's this whole DSM-5 personality disorders, right? And there's so many lines, like Bibi said, of narcissism and different levels of narcissism and mixed with sociopath and so forth. And I agree with you that, as if a narcissist, first of all, if a narcissist recognizes, number one, that they're a narcissist, and if they do want to do some changes to help them, they can do some changes in their lifestyle or some reprogramming to some degree. But because their insecurity is so deep that they're going to always try to hurt or harm someone in some ways to validate them. But again, I'm talking about, like you said, different levels of narcissism. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because what happens with a lot of these women who are in this relationship, they always feel that you do not understand my partner, my narcissistic partner. He will change because he loves me so much. And that is the problem with these women, because they hold on thinking they can change. And they hold on to such a belief because they want this so bad that this will go on for years, and they'll take the abuse, the mental, the physical. And there's women who have lost lives because of this. Lost lives. Children without mothers.
Yes.
Parents without daughters, because they really clung on to that belief of change. So that's why I really emphasize it very strongly. Yes, a narcissist person can change to some degree little behaviors for themselves, but never for a relationship, because they can't give, because they don't love themselves enough to give anybody any sort of strength, compassion, support system that a relationship has. And women really need to recognize that these men do not change. They do not change. Do not keep holding on. Do not keep taking the abuse. Do not keep on the mental situation of all this on the account that they will change. They won't change. Yes, they can restructure a few things here and there, but when it comes to relationships, especially when they're so used to belittling you as it is, there's no respect left. So please keep that in mind. Always save yourself first.
Absolutely. And Robin
exactly. And one quick question, not a question, but a statement. It is really anyone changing. It's always for themselves.
Right.
And I have always seen that sometimes people are pushed to change because whether, that in their workplace, their employers had it with them, they've got an ultimatum from a relationship, they've had drastic things happen in their lives, and they're forced into a situation that give them a possibility, but they never change because of the relationship itself. And so I know there's a whole debate now on because it's become a topic, a universal topic right now. Narcissism has become such a political word throwing about in social media and etc. Yeah.
So thank you so much, ladies, for putting your points forward. But I just want to touch on Robin, who was on the call, the author of Until You Die, A Narcissist's Promise. Robin says, the narcissist believes there's nothing wrong with them.
Yes.
Therefore, they seldom seek treatment.
Absolutely.
True.
Because narcissists never recognizes they're the narcissist. They always believe every action they do is because of the other person. Okay. You led me to do this. I'm not evil. You are bad. And that's why I became evil to you, to teach you a lesson so that you can be a better person. It's very mental. It's very toxic. And until they get their way, they will continue that.
Yeah, there's a lack of insight. Totally lack of insight as to their behaviors, anything about themselves. Yeah, totally lack of insight.
Okay, thank you again. And as I shared with you before, this program has been sponsored by L'Amour Events. Angeli Aurora, who you're going to hear in just a few minutes. And the Diwali cruise is scheduled for Saturday, October 19th, right here in New York on the harbor. So a beautiful yacht, a lot of activities. You're going to hear from Angeli shortly on what some of the activities and stuff on that boat. There are several things planned for that event. So because we're going to do a part 2 of this, and I promise you, November, we're going to come back to this. So if any of you have thoughts or comments you would like to share, please hit me up on my email, diannem@letthewomenspeak.com, or my Facebook page, or WhatsApp, or send it directly to the studio, right? And let us know. So we're talking about the narcissistic partner living behind the mask. And we touched on so many areas of narcissism, the narcissist and the relationship. We talked about the characteristics and so many areas. We're going to follow up on the next segment about not just a narcissistic partner, but how many of you work with a narcissist? I know you may have a boss, you may have co-workers who are narcissists, or you may grow up in a family that parents are narcissists, Or what about our children? How can we prevent our kids from following that path of parents? Because children learn, right? These are learned behaviors. So we're going to talk about those and other things in an upcoming episode. But before we come to a close, what I wanted to ask our therapist here is, how difficult is it to reason with a narcissist? Bibi, you want to start? How difficult?
Oh gosh.
I know. I was like,
reason.
Yeah. I'll leave that one to you.
I worked in a forensic hospital once, and I had the good fortune of coming up with some very difficult, complex cases, and there was no reasoning.
There's no reasoning.
You cannot reason
There's
with
no
a person, because we're talking about an imperfect human being. And you cannot reason with an imperfect human being who has no insight about themselves. So it's about the rationality of how you discuss things. There's no reasoning.
No, there's absolutely no reasoning. They're perfect in their eyes and everything.
And that's the narcissism,
Yep.
that behavior that comes into play. And so I want to thank our therapist here, Bibi Roberts, our in-house therapist that joins me on Let the Women Speak segments, and also Dr. Bindu Babu. And as I said, viewers, we're going to do a part 2 of this because there's so much to talk about, But feel free to join us in studio so you can be part of that conversation, not just online. And this segment is also brought by GlobeSpan 24/7 and TravelSpan. If you can see, I guess you can't see it behind me, but and remember, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So stay tuned. I'm going to ask Bibi and Dr. Bindu Babu to give her some closing remarks, and I'm going to ask Anjali, who is here, and her business L'Amour has sponsored this segment. So if you'd like to sponsor one of our Let the Women Speak segments or any of our segments, please contact our studio, all right, here in New York. So closing remarks, Bindu, to our viewers?
I think one of the most important thing that I really want to bring out there is that we as women have to support each other. It's so important because what happens here is when we're in a horrific relationship, there's a lot of judgment from everybody called society, our culture, our religions, certain things that are so ingrained in our head that we try to really cope and take responsibility of someone else's negative action upon ourselves. Because as women, we're nurturers, or we're mothers, we're daughters, we're sisters, we're friends. We have so many roles and responsibilities that we lose ourselves in keeping our relationship intact, and not only for our children, it's also for our parents, our society obligations, our culture, our religion. There's so many reasons why we tolerate, and sometimes what looks pretty and hidden may not be so. It might be someone who's suffering, and sometimes it's important that we, even if we may not know something is going on, to always have like a helping hand, a support, because only women can really understand what we feel. And it's important that we hold together and embrace each other and support each other and not judge and ridicule someone else. I understand divorce is a taboo in our society. I understand single mothers or women who leave partners it is a taboo. It is looked down upon. But understand that it's better to leave than to die. Or it's better to lose yourself and because what we stand for is what our children follow as well. And then your daughters or your sons might do the same thing. And I don't know if you really want to see your daughter doing the same thing as you. So keep that in mind. Let's be supportive. Let's be each other's encouragement and help each other through. Bring awareness.
Thank you. Bibi, last comment?
Yes. To all the women out there, you don't have to put up with mistreatment. You do not have to put up with anyone that mistreats you in any form or fashion. Seek the support of your friends to begin with. This is a very complex, difficult subject, and if you're already on the ground, it's difficult to even pop your head up to really think, well, what should I do? I've been going through this. All of what you have said resonates with me. It's in my life. How and where do I start? Start with where you are today. And where you are, maybe just tell someone. But you don't have to put up with someone mistreating you. Ever, 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 ever. Not in today's world. Not in today's world.
Thank you so much, Bibi. And as you all know, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is October, and it's going to lead into International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women on November 25th, along with the 16 days of activism. So there will be organizations. We may run stuff throughout the month through GlobeSpan. So look out for those segments on Saturdays from our women host outside of myself. So as we continue, I just want one last thing to add to our discussion here today, the narcissistic partner living behind the mask. Domestic violence doesn't have a face. It has many faces. So when you're looking at us here, you would never know which one of us might have experienced domestic violence in some way, shape, or form. So it happens to any of us, right? So let's try to be sensitive in terms of when you're looking at situations like this and how we can, as Dr. Bindu said, women need to support each other. We need to support each other strongly and not put each other down, but find ways to provide the resources or whatever it might be, or just lend a helping hand. Because as we said earlier, this narcissistic behavior could come in so many different forms. It's not just in the home with a partner or a spouse. It could be in your workplace, right? So where else can some of these types of behavior show up? We're going to talk about that on our next segment. So tune in with us with that. So as we go to our break with the Diwali cruise, I'm going to ask my good friend Anjali Arora to join us here. And so we're going to hit that up. So you'll get to hear from Anjali shortly.
L'Amour is helping to sponsor GlobeSpan 24/7 programs. L'Amour will be celebrating Diwali on board the Princess Luxury Yacht with a cruise on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Take a cruise down the Hudson with non-stop Diwali celebrations plus DJ and fashion show. Tickets start from $75. That's a Diwali cruise on board the Princess Yacht on October 19th at 6:30 p.m. Call Anjali at 845-545-9936 or Shika at 646-732-0065.
Hey viewers, thank you again for joining us back on Let the Women Speak. And on this segment, as we, I'm not going to use the word celebrate, as we recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month this month, we have amazing women here. Look at this. We have Bibi Roberts, we have Dr. Bindu Babu, we have Anjali Arora, who owns L'Amour events. So if you have any events, please hit her up. She's a fabulous events planner. And I'm looking across the room and I have my good friend Ash, who is in studio. So she's like, okay. And Ash has that pop-up museum. So you're going to get to hear more about amazing women doing amazing things on our Let the Women Speak segment. So as we wrap up on the narcissistic partner living behind the mask, don't forget next month we're going to bring part 2 back to you. We'll let you know on that date. So we have the Diwali cruise event coming up in Saturday, October 19th. Anjali, can you tell us a little bit about L'Amour events and this particular cruise? Because this cruise is the first Diwali cruise in New York. What should we expect?
Well, thank you, Dianne. Thank you for inviting me to start with. It is a beautiful cruise. Like, the story behind is like all of us, we came here on a boat. Like, you know, like there were no planes back then and there were no roads back then where people were driving. So yeah, the idea was to bring everybody together under one roof where the journey really started from, and nothing better than celebrating the Festival of Lights, Diwali. This event particularly will offer you a casino, and some proceedings from the casino will actually go towards domestic violence, like some people and organizations supporting domestic violence. There'll be food, there'll be dancing, there'll be DJ, there'll be a small fashion show by a very known Indian brand too. And yeah, a lot more Diwali shopping, like tarot reading, henna. So everything, we just really did, like, we put the entire Diwali celebration on the cruise. I'm really looking forward to having you all there. Talking of my company, L'Amour Events, I have like a small, you know, me as an individual have experiences working in different countries like Milan, Italy, Canada. And yeah, I'm bringing all the experience here and trying to give away a very good experience.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is not, even though we have a lot of Caribbean viewers on this program on GlobeSpan Network, this is for everyone, yes, regardless of what nationality you are. Join us on this particular cruise on October 19th. Dress in your beautiful Indian best if you have that. If not, I mean, it's not
Yeah,
it's
dress
not
to
mandatory.
impress.
Dress to impress. And they're going to have, as Anjali said, they're going to have designers, fashion show. Our good friend Ash is going to be showcasing some of her stuff on, on the cruise.
I would like
Yeah.
to add to
Yes.
it because talking of Ash, like this is the first time where you will have a pop-up museum right on the cruise.
On the
like
cruise,
never
yeah.
in the history of like cruising anywhere in US at least,
Yeah.
a pop-up museum has come to the cruise with the cause attached to it. And I will not reveal a lot of details.
Yes.
Just come to the cruise and let the brain talk about it herself.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us again, where's this cruise happening, and give us a little bit more about tickets and so on.
So the cruise is like sailing from Pier 81, World Yacht Events. The name is Princess Luxury Yacht. The timing is 6 p.m. onwards. The registration will start in 7 p.m. Dot. It will leave until 11. For tickets, there are numbers mentioned below the flyers, which my friend Dianne has like shared. And yeah, like the number is
You want to just repeat the numbers?
the first number is like 845-545-9936. That's me.
That's your
Anjali.
number.
And you have a person like Shika. She's supporting me, and her number is 646-732-0065. So it's a beautiful team. You can get in touch directly with like GlobeSpan or call me directly, and I can share more details.
Also, if you're interested, those of you who know me and interested to be a part of this experience on Saturday, October 19th, please hit me up. You can send me a message on WhatsApp, 917-399-5764, or Anjali and the other person that she mentioned. So any of us or GlobeSpan, the TravelSpan office, you right here on Liberty Avenue, you can let them know about if you're interested in tickets. Also, Anjali, if people have access to the internet, which they do, they're in New York, they can go to Eventbrite, right?
They can go to Eventbrite. There is a website called Suleika. There is a Facebook page just for the event, Diwali Cruise 2019. That is the link. Or you can log on to the website www.diwalicruise2k19.com to get more details.
This is the first Diwali cruise happening in New York City. So as we have our women doing amazing things, we're supporting them in their endeavors, because that's what Let the Women Speak is all about. Supporting, as Dr. Bindu said, women supporting each other. We're supporting each other in our efforts. And these ladies are here supporting me, being here with Let the Women Speak. And I want to thank each and every one of them. Bibi Roberts, who's coming in from Florida via Skype. Robin Shea, thank you so much for taking my call again after all these years. So I appreciate you so much in doing that. And I'm hoping to see you next month here in New York, and we'll talk more about that. Dr. Bindu Babu, oh my goodness. What can I say? This is so amazing, and we're going to bring this back.
Yes.
Right, Bibi? We should do another segment on this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's an honor. It really is.
Same here. I'm so happy to be able to be here and spread some goodwill and some good messages. It's so important to understand that, and I just want everyone to know that I am also one of these people who went through this. So remember, and today and this
Thank
year,
you for sharing.
and this year I was named as 2019 New York's Powerful Woman in Business.
Okay.
So this is how we build and help each other through. Thank you. So it's important. Thank you for having me, Dianne.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And you see, this is how we connect. And the thing about it is that us women, we don't see each other every day, but when we get together, it's amazing. So I've had a chance to hang out with Bindu at a mayor's event, and I think we are going to have another one coming up on October 21st. The mayor's having his Diwali event, Mayor of New York. And here's the thing. I know there's some rumors going around. I'm going to say this real quick, and I just need to put a disclaimer. I know that I'm supporting Richard David, but please understand, this is an important event for our city. And in order for us to get Diwali recognized as a national holiday, we need to support it. So if you are on that invite list, please join us as we join our, the mayor and his wife at that event in New York City on October 21st, right?
October
Because
21st, yeah.
that's going to be such a busy weekend for me, because Friday I have Shea organization that does a lot of work with our children, bringing them here for medical treatment. Then on Saturday we have the boat cruise, so I'm super excited. Full packed weekend. Haven't done this in a long time, so it's going to be kind of interesting running from one event to the other. And then the mayor's event on the 21st that we'll be at.
The mayor's event, and then it's important to understand that, again, supporting Diwali, like New American Voters Association, we also collaborate with Scott Springer for Diwali in October, I think 28th. And then there's another one with Melinda Katz for Queensborough President, that we're doing for Diwali as well. And as Nava, as Director of Leadership Academy, you know, I ask everyone to come and join us.
And Melinda Katz is now the new DA for Queens.
She's running.
Yeah.
She's running. Yeah.
And here, these are women that we have to support, regardless whether you're Caribbean, whether you're American, you know, China, I don't care where you're from. Let the Women Speak. It's about supporting our women, empowering our women, and getting a seat at the table. So on that note, I want to thank, right across from me is Mr. Nohar Singh for picking the phone up and calling me back in January and say, hey, Dianne, could you join my wife, Pastor Lisa Singh, on a segment? And then next thing, you know, we've been doing this on a regular basis. So I want to thank you. So, but here's the thing. We need for you to help support these events by sponsorship, just like Angeli supported this event to bring this segment to you all. So if you know someone, or you have a business, or you want to run an ad on the one of our segments, please hit us up and let us know. And again, I want to thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the 3 segments we've had today, this morning, until now. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. And we will let you know when our next segment for our narcissist personality will come out, right?
Yeah.
So L'Amour Diwali Cruise on October 19th. Don't miss it, okay? And wear your best. And Domestic Violence Awareness Month is this month, and it's happening this month also. And you know, it's purple. So you notice I'm got my purple on today, my bracelet, so on. And I might be wearing my purple outfit that day too. So tune in with us, and thank you all again for being part of this segment. And join us again. Have a beautiful rest of the Saturday. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.